reaching hurricane force levels, taking captive cars, toppling trees.
We just lost our whole tree fort.
Knocking over play sets and tossing trampolines. This storm, nothing to contend with, and it's not over yet.
Winds will slowly taper off later tonight for parts of the Pikes Peak region. Temperatures back down in the 20s. And we'll have afternoon highs back in the 30s and some low 40s out there for tomorrow. Even warmer by the weekend. We'll showcase that weekend forecast. That's all coming up.
Your storm team coverage starts now.
You're watching KRDO News Channel 13, where the news comes first. Your news starts right now.
And you are looking at a live shot right now at I-25 near Garden of the Gods in Colorado Springs. The roads still messy tonight.
And very icy. Today's bomb cyclone blizzard bringing some of the highest winds ever recorded in Colorado. And with roadside rescues still happening at this hour, the governor has declared a state of emergency. Good evening. I'm Heather Skold.
And I'm Bart Bitzel, and we are in storm mode here on KRDO News Channel 13. Colorado Governor Jared Polis today authorized the activation of the Colorado National Guard, declaring an emergency because of the blizzard that pounded the state today.
The National Guard will focus on search and rescue operations for the hundreds of drivers still stranded on closed roads in central and northeastern Colorado using a large snowcat like the one you just saw there.
The Colorado State Emergency Operations Center also moved to Level 2 operations to support counties affected by the blizzard. And the warming shelters are filling up. This was the scene at the Colorado Springs rescue mission earlier today. Police bringing people to the shelter throughout the evening and getting them out of that dangerous cold. This is one of roughly a dozen shelters that have been opened up and down the Front Range in some of those areas hardest hit by today's blizzard. As you can imagine, it was a day filled with some amazing sights and sounds. Before we cover some of the specific issues and areas, here's a broad look at today's conditions using some of the best images captured by our staff and by you. The sound alone was terrifying, and the wind echoed across the Pikes Peak region. With it came a long list of problems.
We just lost our whole tree fort.
This play set in Black Forest was toppled. Others lost large trees in their yards. This family in Briargate lost two. Pueblo didn't see much snow, but the winds were just as bad, uprooting trees, which in some cases fell on homes and cars. But the most widespread problem was the roads. The winds pushed the back of this 18-wheeler off I-25 into two cars already on the side of the road. And hundreds of drivers were either involved in a pileup to the north or east of Colorado Springs, or they were stuck in traffic for hours behind a pileup. Areas along Mark Scheffel were among the largest of the makeshift parking lots. El Paso County even brought out a snowcat to rescue drivers near Constitution and Highway 24. And even those who were lucky enough to get a tow from a friend or a stranger likely faced even more digging out from blizzard-blown drifts right outside their front doors.
Incredible footage there. It has been a tough day and night for our many plow drivers. Many roads still closed, along with thousands of businesses. We sent Chase Golightly out to check road conditions and paint us a picture of the night after the storm. Chase is out front of our TV studios here on 8th Street. Chase?
Heather, yes, just right outside our studio near downtown Colorado Springs. Things are pretty nice out here. The wind has died down, the snow's coming down very softly, but taking a 10 to 15-minute drive north, things get bad quickly. Real bad.
For those in southern Colorado Springs, it almost looks like a regular snow day. But the more north you go, the roads get worse and worse. Some saying this is the worst blizzard they have seen in more than a decade.
Probably the worst I've seen since 1997. I was here for that last blizzard, and this was probably by far the worst.
The interstate, normally busy, has no cars in sight. Parking lots to stores and gas stations abandoned, most closed during the heavy snow. But while the roads were mostly empty, it was the plow trucks who were the king of the roads, clearing the streets as best they could. A loud job that needs to get done. Chris Mitchell is a private plow driver. He says what gave him and other drivers the hardest time clearing the roads was the wind.
You know, we had these last snowstorms were pretty bad with the inches wise, but with this wind it makes it a lot harder because everything's real icy. So it's been a lot. This storm is the worst one of the year by far.
And while the plows were having some trouble on the roads, it was the regular drivers who couldn't even get through the slush and ice. Quade Loadridge says even driving behind a snowplow didn't help him.
Right behind the snowplow, maybe 5 feet behind it. Like I was having to caution myself going up a hill, and I still wasn't making it.
Saying he will be waiting for this blizzard to let up. The other drivers on the road should do the same.
So if you were planning to head up north for tonight, it might be best to find a place for you to stay tonight and try to make that trip tomorrow morning. We're live in Colorado Springs. Chase Golightly, KRDO News Channel 13.
All right, Chase, thanks. Now, we weren't just witnesses to the road troubles today. One of our own crews got stranded, just as many of you did. Meteorologist Sam Postich and photojournalist Chapin Everett were stuck in Castle Rock for much of the day, then stranded at a gas station in Monument for much of the evening. They join us live there now. Sam, how are things looking up in that part of the area tonight?
Yeah, thanks, Bart. So right now I'm at the Come and Go in Monument, and many of us here were directed to this Come and Go by emergency management services, telling us this is the place to go to stay safe. First and foremost, I want to thank everyone out there that has helped out saving people from stranded cars. There was a lot of cars off the side of the road, and without the help of emergency management, you know, a lot of those people would still be stranded, but many are safe because those out risking their lives to save those that were in need. So a big shout out to emergency management crews. And I was actually wanting to thank the Tri-Lakes Fire Department and also a few Good Samaritans that helped me dig out the mobile storm tracker on Highway 105 close to Highway 83. We were stuck in a big snowdrift, and the Tri-Lakes Fire Department really helped us out, and we actually ran into similar story from a woman here at the Come and Go. Check it out.
My day has been very stressful. Stuck on the interstate 6 hours and brought here by a fireman and said I had to stay here because I couldn't get home because I live up on the mountain. Well, they were wonderful. I mean, every opportunity they had to stop by the cars and talk to us, they were doing that. And also, speaking of that, we can thank these people here for helping us.
Yeah, and I just want to also thank all the state patrol, all the fire department workers, all of the police officers that were out today in these conditions. And even though the snow has started to let up, the wind is still blowing pretty good, and the roads, I haven't seen a ton of improvement. And it does seem like it's possible that we're staying the night at this Come and Go up in Monument, but no worries. We're nice and warm and safe here. So big thank you to everyone out there. Back to you in the studio.
Wow, Sam, glad you guys are safe and sound there tonight, but still a lot of drifts there, even up in Monument at that Come and Go gas station. Thanks so much, you guys. Well, Chief Meteorologist Mary Matthews has been covering every square detail of this for you. And Mary, as you predicted, the wind was the huge factor today. Hurricane force levels out there.
Yeah, it certainly was, Heather. I mean, we have had widespread wind damage from parts of Colorado Springs down to Pueblo, Monument, even out across parts of the Highway 24 area. Want to share this shot with you. Of course, this is looks much better than it did several hours ago. Cripple Creek, where we've now started to taper off with the winds just a bit more. We're still under a winter storm warning here until later tonight for Cripple Creek until really early Thursday morning. Colorado Springs is still under a blizzard warning until midnight, even though the strongest of winds, of course, being found just to the north of the area. Monument, of course, where Sam is stranded up there, that is going to continue those blizzard-like conditions until 6 o'clock in the morning. So the winds are still going to be packing a punch here, especially across the eastern plains through a good part of Thursday. And then Thursday afternoon, we'll see a significant improvement in the winds. But high wind warnings are still in effect here for parts of the Arkansas River Valley along the Raton Mesa. There's a look at your center of circulation that continues to pivot across the Nebraska and Kansas border. So we're still getting that wraparound moisture in the form of a few little snow showers. And still, this is just the radar combined with the wind gusts, 60 mile per hour gusts. There's 67 mile per hour gusts, about 56 for Colorado Springs. You'll notice as we kind of zoom in a little bit closer here, the snow showers are tapering off there for western Los Animas County, but this is the area we were actually expecting the snow to linger through the overnight hours tonight. We may see a brief little break at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. But some areas, especially across Highway 24 and northern El Paso County, will see some ongoing flurries through the early morning hours of Thursday. That combined with the strong winds will certainly continue to reduce visibility out there. Now, the winds won't be quite as intense as they were earlier today, but we will start to see a gradual improvement through the afternoon hours, right about noon for places like La Junta, Pueblo, and you'll even notice it'll get significantly calmer by tomorrow evening. We'll talk more about Your weekend forecast coming up in just a few minutes.
That'll be a relief to be 24 hours from now, and even the weekend. Mary, thank you. Flying in and out of the Springs came to a complete stop today. All flights were grounded this afternoon. Check out this video we shot earlier. The wind was so strong just before noon that the doors to the main terminal broke. DIA was no better. More than 1,000 flights were canceled there. By the way, if you have flights planned for tomorrow, you will want to double check with your airline before leaving for either airport. And one other transportation of note here, Mountain Metro, which had stopped running buses at around 1 o'clock today, will resume services at 10 o'clock tomorrow morning.
Seemed like everywhere we went today, our crews ran into life-threatening road conditions. KRDO News Channel 13's Alexis Dominguez was part of our earlier team coverage and saw firsthand the impact it had along the Powers Corridor east of Colorado Springs.
Traffic at a complete standstill, all due to a complete whiteout caused by the heavy winds. Even on some of the busiest streets in northern Colorado.
We are along Powers just past Palmer Park, and they are whiteout conditions here. You can barely even see the road. We are standing in a parking lot just by the street here.
Car after car abandoned or parked in any and every direction.
I want to give you a look at the cars that are stranded. We've heard that there are about 500 motorists stranded in Colorado Springs, but this gives you an idea. And of course, right when we're trying to show you, the wind picks up, but you can see, I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cars here. We are on Stetson Hills, right at the King Soopers by Powers.
But by the end of the day, the amount of stranded drivers nearly doubled. Some people chose to wait in their cars for the storm to die down, but the winds were not letting up.
The weather has not gotten any better. I have a device here that actually measures how fast the wind goes, and it's hard for me to even talk. The wind is actually taking my breath away.
Winds reached at least 97 miles per hour in some areas, causing major damage. In Colorado Springs, Alexis Dominguez, KRDO News Channel 13.
Just to follow that up, just a few minutes ago, an El Paso County spokesperson told us they believe, this is a staggering number, they believe 1,100 drivers are still stranded tonight. They're in the areas of Schriever Air Force Base, Woodman and Mark Scheffel, also Calhan. County search and rescue crews and also crews from Lake County are all helping, and they will work through the night to get those drivers out. They know you're there. Now, she also said they expect the plowing to take about 8 hours tomorrow before most of those roads are drivable again.
And we do know that a lot of people are even hunkered down at the Falcon Walmart as well. Walmart being very nice to people and generous, letting them shelter in place there in the apparel section, watch TVs on the TV screens there in Walmart. So lots of people, even not on the roads, but inside Walmart.
There's worse places to be besides Walmart, Come and Go up in Monument. Yeah, some people lucked out.
Yeah, well, we know that the storm claimed at least one person's life today. Sadly, the victim was a state trooper working in Weld County. CSP confirming tonight that Corporal Daniel Groves was killed after being struck by a vehicle about 10 miles east of Keensburg along I-76. It happened around 11:20 this morning in those blizzard conditions. Groves was assisting a vehicle that slid off the roadway when he was struck by a driver who may have been going too fast. That driver was taken to a nearby medical center with moderate injuries. Straight ahead here on 13, so many of you were stranded in the storm today.
We'll show you some of the cars left abandoned in a live report next. Hurricane-force winds, icy roads, car pileups. We saw it all today.
We sure did, and we continue our team coverage tracking the aftermath live in the elements. KRDO News Channel 13 Stephanie Sierra is live tonight in our mobile storm tracker with an update on those current conditions. And Steph, where are you now and what are you seeing?
Well, Heather and Bart, we're traveling north along the interstate, just about to get off at the Garden of the Gods exit. And as you can see, if you take a look at our camera here, conditions not too terrible, but that's certainly not the case just north of us. Not only is the interstate closed up there, but roads are icing up, making for a very treacherous commute.
What a difference a few hours can make. At dusk, the interstate looking much better, with the exception of those abandoned cars left behind. Driving less than a mile, we ran into not 1 or 2 or 3 or 4, but 5 cars stranded. Just like I was a few hours earlier. You see me there in the distance, struggling after I slid on ice near the Fillmore exit. Grabbing my things, it was hard to even walk. Because outside, all you could see is this, complete whiteout conditions. Those whipping winds like ice bullets pummeling in your face. It was a nightmare for Abraham Parsons.
Can't see things down the road or even maybe 50 feet in front of you.
That low visibility leading to many accidents across the city, like this 5-vehicle crash causing delays at Rock Rimmon. Plus, cars sliding off everywhere, like this one along Academy, leaving James and his friends stuck in a parking lot.
Is this the worst you've ever seen it?
It is.
Everyone can agree with that, even those traveling out of town like Antonio and Francisco, who learned their lesson the hard way.
Don't come out, and if you do, be careful.
Wise words, because if you're stuck in these conditions, you can only hope someone will be there to get you out of the mess.
Well, here's one more glance. We're traveling east on Garden of the Gods. Roads certainly icy in some areas. It may appear harmless on our camera, but we even found ourselves swerving just a moment ago. So keep that in mind for the morning commute. And of course, be sure to stay with our live team coverage. Reporting live in Colorado Springs, Stephanie Sierra, KRDO, News Channel 13.
Gosh, stay safe out there. Stephanie, thanks again for your live report. And we just want to reiterate tonight that there are a number of school districts that have gone ahead and canceled classes for tomorrow. We're talking all the big districts, D11, D49, D20, all the way down in Pueblo as well, D60, 70. If you want to see the complete list, you can get on KRDO.com. But safe to say, you're the exception if you have a delay tomorrow.
I think everybody at this point is closed. Mary, I'm concerned that our kids, at this rate, enough snow days that we've had so far, they may be in school 4th of July this year if we have to make up that many days for missing all this, right?
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. They don't need summer school. They're going to be in summer school already. So
I know. That means my kids
But hopefully
too.
tonight, hopefully tomorrow, the last day for at least a bit of a stretch.
A little bit of a stretch. We'll take the moisture. We don't want to, say that was a bad thing, but the winds we could have done without today. That was certainly the big kicker. I want to show you this because we've been showing you this is shot all day, and conditions have significantly improved versus where we were just several hours ago. So we still have some breezy conditions out there left in Colorado Springs, but we continue to see the winds die down, at least for parts of the Pikes Peak region. I want to show you the larger scope of this system. I'm going to step out just to do it some justice because it is impacting most of the Midwest. Central pressure now up to about 980 millibars, so we expected that to climb, so that it really describes what's going on inside the storm. And this morning it was down to about 972 millibars. So the deeper the pressure, the more that's correlated to the faster wind speeds. And I've covered hurricanes that don't get down that low. So this has certainly been one for the record books in terms of the wind profile. The 97-mile-per-hour gust that was reported at Peterson Air Force Base certainly was record-breaking for this day in history. So it has been a widespread damaging wind event at the very least, and that is saying something. Wind continues to kind of hang around here, along with some snow showers across the Palmer Divide. The lingering snow showers really will stay in place here along Highway 24 from Falcon to Peyton, Ellicott. A lot of these locations canceled school for tomorrow, and rightfully so. Kind of a little banding of snow showing up here across the far eastern corner there of El Paso County, but the lower visibilities will stay in place. Not quite as intense as it was earlier today, but still with 40 to 50 mile per hour embedded gusts at times, with still some light flurries falling. It is still going to make for some reduced visibility out there. Woodland Park, a few flurries will linger into the overnight hours as well. So the forecast model showing you that persistent wind out of the north and west through 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Likelihood of a few little snow showers lingering here across parts of the Palmer Divide into about 7, 8 o'clock. So we slow to come to an end for some of these locations across northern El Paso County, Lincoln County, up into parts of Douglas County, and even Teller County. But the snow will start to taper off into the early morning hours. But the winds will hang around just a bit through the afternoon. Not quite as strong as today, but certainly for the far eastern plains, we still have those blizzard warnings in effect through the early morning hours as a result of those winds. Temperatures down in the 20s tonight. We will have some isolated slick spots out there for early tomorrow morning for secondary roads, even elevated surfaces. I know the infrastructure here in Colorado Springs, a lot of bridges and overpasses, so just take it slow out there. I know the crews have been working diligently to try to clear some of those roads. Not sure how much they could really treat them with them already being so wet, but I know there was some treatment that happened before the system moved in. By about 1, 2 o'clock, conditions are going to significantly improve in terms of the winds out there, but still some lingering 30 to 40 mile per hour gusts across the Arkansas River Valley. So with the ground being so saturated as it is now, with the moisture and then the lingering prolonged winds, still wouldn't be surprised if we had a down tree or two through the overnight hours and even through the day tomorrow for some of those easternmost counties. So an alert is out predominantly here for slick spots for early tomorrow morning, but we significantly improve as we move through the afternoon hours, and temperatures hovering here in the 20s for Woodland Park. So noticeably cooler out there, but a gradual warming trend as we make our way through the weekend. Canyon City, an alert out for just the early part of the morning for some isolated slick spots as well, but temperatures will be back above freezing. Of course, the winds will make it feel much colder out there than it actually is, so please be mindful of that. There will still be some breezy conditions to linger through the week, really the latter half of the day, but back in the 50s for the weekend. I think we can sit tight and hang on.
That's good news. Mary, thanks. With so many of you in need of help from the storm, there have also been others who jumped into action.
We'll show you how some came to the rescue up next.
A big trouble spot for drivers during today's blizzard, and during most blizzards, in fact, was around the intersection of Highway 24 and Constitution Avenue, just east of Colorado Springs.
Dozens of vehicles remain abandoned there even so tonight, but the drivers got out safely thanks to help from Good Samaritans like Eric Waldrop. He lives in the area and joined other volunteers in lending a helping hand.
I was actually making a trip out to Lowe's and to get some fence posts because I lost part of my fence, and on the way out from Lowe's I heard on the radio, I'm a ham radio operator, and I heard that they had a bunch of people that were stuck out here, so I figured I'd come out and help.
Well, Waldrop says he helped take drivers to a nearby grocery store so they could find shelter for the night.
A great story. Many of them will hire tow trucks to recover their vehicles tomorrow. Some drivers said they haven't seen so much ice on the highway, on this Highway 24, since the storm closed it back in 2007.
And as we go to break, we are still in storm mode here at KRDO News Channel 13. This is a live look from our crews driving along I-25 headed southbound south of Fillmore right now. You do see some icy patches that they're just crossing there, but by and large, the downtown area not too bad. It's when you get north and east of town, that's when you run into some big trouble spots. We're back in 2 minutes.
Go on, touchdown!
And this is the area where the tumor is.
He's gonna lose his leg.
We can get him running again. The ankle will function as the knee.
You're gonna be good. I can stand. Yeah! I can stand.
Last fall, Coloradans went to the ballot box and voted overwhelmingly against Proposition 112. They voted to protect funding for schools, protect jobs, and protect our way of life. But a handful of politicians didn't like that result and think they know better. So now they're trying to ignore the voters and pass a law in the middle of the night to shut down energy production in Colorado. Call your legislator and tell them to stop SB 181.
Boating. Tundra. A little R&R. Camry.
Wow, she's good.
Off-roading. Forerunner. Treasure hunting. Highlander mateys.
Thanks.
Wherever you want to go, we've got a great deal on a Toyota to get you there.
Right now, you can get $2,000 cash back on a new family-friendly 2019 Highlander. For great deals on other Toyotas, visit Toyota.com.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
Follow us on Twitter at KRDO NC13.
As the storm winds down, that's fun to say, the damage left behind will surely make for a long cleanup in the days ahead.
Aside from all those rescues, dozens of trees were uprooted by today's hurricane-strength winds. KRDO News Channel 13's Crystal Story gives us this inside look.
From the ground up, trees uprooted all over Colorado Springs.
But when I come up and stand close to this tree,
You can see how big it is in comparison to just how tall I am.
Some falling on top of cars.
The wind was so strong, it split at the root.
In parking lots.
Surely gonna be one heck of a cleanup that we're gonna have to deal with tomorrow.
Tina Davis had a tree fall on her house. Susie Cooper captured these downed trees near Rock Rimmon. In that area, the visibility so bad at times you can barely see in front of you. The road so slippery, semis were stuck in the middle of the road, some cars forced to turn around. A storm so strong, the damage it's leaving behind, like at this bus stop, is leaving a massive cleanup for tomorrow. In Colorado Springs, Crystal Story, KRDO News Channel 13.
And one thing we should add, when talking to a county spokesperson earlier, none of the drivers they rescued throughout the day, throughout the evening, were seriously injured. No fatalities to report from people stuck out in the cold, at least weather-related. Of course, the
Good
trooper
news
up
there.
in Weld County, that's a tragedy, but no drivers here suffering any serious injuries. That's a good thing.
Absolutely, no doubt. And the storm is winding down. We'll have another look at your forecast right after the break.
For 3 generations, our family has been providing outstanding value and innovation in the automotive industry. Now, enjoy purchasing your next vehicle right from your own home. Introducing Mike Maroney Direct. Select your vehicle, arrange financing, even value your trade-in, all at Mike Maroney Direct. Receive our lowest no-haggle price on over 1,500 vehicles, all with our money-back guarantee, from our website to your driveway. MikeMaroneyColorado.com.
As Colorado's leading credit union, ENT is different. We're locally owned and committed to helping you make the most of what you've got. Not just with great banking, but with great member value, better rates, lower fees, and ENT Extras cash rewards. That's our commitment. And it's an ENT thing.
Berwick Electric, industrial-sized expertise, a locally owned company. Businesses across the country depend on our experience and our know-how. Whether it's a renovation or a new construction project, we provide design-build expertise and pre-construction services for commercial, industrial, and government clients. We also offer extensive expertise in sustainability projects. We're nationally renowned, but right here in town. Berwick Electric, your connection to electrical excellence. Visit berwickelectric.com for a sample of our projects.
I grew up working in my family's supper clubs. This is where it started with us as far as the fish that we serve at Culver's today. We source the finest cod and batter each fillet by hand and always cook it to order. That beautiful golden brown color and flaky on the inside. The fish fry is a Midwest tradition. It's about coming together. It's families, friends. I love bringing this tradition to guests everywhere. Mom and Dad would be proud. Welcome to Delicious.
Hey, Bud, what will you do if there's alcohol at the party? As a parent, it's my job to ask important questions. In the kitchen, how would you handle it if a friend offered you marijuana? At the store, if your friend gave you his prescription, what would you say? And on the road, no matter what we're doing, there's always time to talk with my child. Learn how to talk about alcohol, marijuana, and prescription drugs with your child at speaknowcolorado.org.
Disney on Ice presents Worlds of Enchantment. See stars from Disney's Frozen, Cars, The Little Mermaid, and Toy Story.
Tickets on sale now. Playing at the Broadmoor World Arena March 22nd through 24th. Visit DisneyOnIce.com for details.
KRDO News Channel 13.
Your most watched local news.
Blizzard warnings expire midnight for Colorado Springs, not till about 6 a.m. for northern El Paso County. So the winds will continue to be an issue. Temperature highs will be noticeably cooler tomorrow into the 30s and 40s. Of course, pretty chilly out there today, considering the winds as well. Let's talk about when those winds taper off. The far eastern plains will see the strongest winds for the early part of the morning hours. Even Calhan will probably wake up to some 50-mile-an-hour winds in the mid-morning hours. But notice by the evening, we're just left with a few little slots of lingering gust across the far eastern plains tomorrow evening. So significantly getting better tomorrow evening.
A question here on Facebook we just got in. Why are they calling this a historic blizzard? A lot of that is because of the wind gusts, right?
A lot of it too is how low the pressure went. That has a lot to do with it. So yeah.
All right. Good Morning Colorado begins at 4:30 a.m.
Thanks for watching Southern Colorado's most watched local news.